Hello from the Sydney Football Stadium. Sunday football on this Father's Day. The minor premiers Parramatta against the Roosters. And the build-up to this match has changed dramatically over the past half an hour. With the news that the Warriors have been beaten this afternoon by the Cowboys, it means that, well, we know that Parramatta could do nothing but finish first. But for the Roosters, they can do no better or worse than finish sixth on the ladder. That is a result of that surprise score from across the Tasman. But for the Eels, they tune up for the finals. They have lost only one of their last 15 games. In fact, they've only been beaten once since way back on March 25, round 6 against the Canberra Raiders. An outstanding performance by the Blue and Golds. They've rested a few players today. Daniel Irvine on screen comes in for Brad Drew into the starting line. And he will be looking for a big match. He will play some part in the final series. And now the Roosters back in good form here last Sunday against the Dragons. They have won 3 of their last 4 after going through a slump. And also boosted today by the return of Paul Green to the interchange bench. Let's have a look at the lineups for this round 26 clash.
And for the Roosters, a strong side. Phillips at fullback, Flannery and Minicello on the wings, Hegarty and Singh in the centres. Fittler at 5'8", wing at halfback. Ricketson, Fletcher and Fitzgibbon make up a strong back row. Morley in the front row with Lomu. Benetti at hooker on the interchange bench. Cusack, Widders, Crocker and Green, coached by Graham Murray.
And the minor premiers have rested Hodgson, Ian Hindmarsh and Brad Drew, have named Violecki at fullback. Donald and Moody the wingers, Jamie Lyon and Luke Burt the centre pairing, Buettner as the 5'8", Jason Taylor at half. Locking the scrum, Daniel Wagon, Nathan Hindmarsh and Andrew Ryan the second rowers. Nathan Kalis captains the team in the front row along with Vella and Irvine. And off the interchange bench, Marsh, Jason Kalis, Robinson, Solomona, coached by Brian Smith.
What a pleasant afternoon here at the stadium. Paul Harrigan sideline, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Vossi. Possible showers later on today. The winds from the north-northwest and 19 degrees. Hard to see this Parramatta team slipping up this close before the semi-finals, but Paul Green back from injury on the bench for the Roosters. I bet you they'd love to see him go through this match uninjured, ready for next week.
Bill Harrigan in charge of this game between the Roosters and the Eels, and the Roosters from left to right for the first half. Parramatta resting the likes of Hodgson and Drew and Ian Hindmarsh today. But they have the minor premiership in the bag and paraded the JJ Giltman Shield proudly last week at Parramatta Stadium after their win over the Eagles. And here is the first start for Irvine. Well, through the tackle of Adrian Morley. Now, that match earlier today, I mentioned the Warriors beaten by the Cowboys 30 points to 18, and also some more bad news for the New Zealand Warriors. Injury to Monty Beetham, one of their very best forwards, a serious leg injury they suspect. The first kick of the day from Parramatta finds touch just outside the 20. So, as always, a very competent set of 6 from the Eels, and this was pretty close to being a 40-20.
They do start games particularly well, and that is shown by the statistic that they've scored the first try in 23 of their 25 matches this year. In fact, have done that in the last 19 consecutive matches.
Hold blocks there, hold out there.
Craig Wing again, the number 7 today. He was man of the match a few weeks back against Brisbane. Minicello comes in for an early touch. He hit hard there by a combination of Lyon and Andrew Ryan. Earlier this year, round 13, big win to the Eels, 38-22. That match at Parramatta Stadium. Jason Taylor had a good match there, scored a try and kicked 7 goals. And the Roosters in possession, 5 metres inside their own half. Benetti works right with Wing, and then the cutout ball across for Fletcher. Our man of the match last Sunday against the Dragons, and I dare say his best game for the year. 40 away from the Parramatta line. Phillips, they work infield with Wing. Wide as Fittler, and then pushes along for Hegarty, turning Flannery on an inside run. And Buettner is there in defence with Lyon, but now the Roosters 30 metres away from the Parramatta line and looking pretty sharp as well. Fittler's kick off the boot has got them on the run, and it sits up in the in goal, although now it will go over the dead ball line. And it will be a 20-metre restart for the Parramatta Eels.
Well, Brad Fittler will be looking for a game. We'll see a premature restart there by the Parramatta side. Fittler will be looking to kick the football as well as he did last week against the Dragons. And his bombs put plenty of pressure on, led to an important try. That one wasn't a bad kick either. It did bounce, but unfortunately, finally over the dead ball line. It's Nathan Hindmarsh out of dummy half.
Going into today's match, Parramatta on 40 competition points. The Broncos won the minor premiership last year with 38. And they were 6 clear of their nearest rival. As now Kalis works forward, the Eels captain. 45 away from the Roosters line. Slow play the ball comes for Irvine, and Taylor's kicking. For that north-western corner, it is covered up there by Phillips, who was another who really returned to his best form last week in those difficult wet conditions in the second half against the Dragons. He excelled. Minicello missed that match last week and cops the treatment there from Vella. Now forward with Morley. He was collected a little high there by Kalis. Benetti away for Fitzgibbon. Little step off the left foot. And collected there in the tackle of Irvine. Benetti and back for Fittler. The handling from both teams early is very good. This one in pursuit of a 40-20. Brad Fittler, I reckon he's got it. He's kicked it right from the 40-metre line, Brad Fittler, as he did last week. I reckon he's nailed another here.
And we saw on Friday night young Braithen Astor use the banana kick expertly. The young fellow found a 40-20 in that game, and this time the older fellow, Brad Fittler, shows that it's a skill he can use as well, and this puts the Roosters right on the attack in the opening stages.
Well, Taylor just missed with his first kick of the day.
Well, Craig Wing, he should go up and get the football off Jason Taylor here, because I'm sure it is a 40-20.
Oh,
well, he's... Oh, gee. The call to Bill Harrigan is that the kick was outside the 40 metres.
Peter, dare we say, the eye in the sky, the video referee surely had to get a message to the touch judge or the referee directly there.
Interesting whether that was where the message came from, but gee, I think the general consensus up here is that Fittler was within the 40. Let's have a look. Absolutely no doubt.
Goodness.
No doubt whatsoever, and easily picked up if it was looked at by anyone else but the referee.
Well, that's a ridiculous error on the eve of the finals when things like that can turn matches. That's a crucial decision in a game of this nature, and with the big games around the corner, they can't afford to get those wrong.
Well, Parramatta have possession on halfway, and Taylor kicking this time. But Eddie put a bit of pressure on him, and Taylor doesn't get his best kick in as a result. Good work by the Roosters there. And Minicello is back with the ball for the Sydney side. And into dummy half goes Matt Singh. We'll be pleased to hear the Cowboys had a win today. The club he is bound for next year. And I should also say, Penrith, sarcastically, congratulations, you've got the wooden spoon as a result of that scoreline across the Tasman. Simon Benetti. Craig Wing. And using the ball for Lomu. Lomu able to offload. Nice work, Fittler. And back with Phillips now. Got away from Buettner. Luke Phillips running at Andrew Ryan and still able to steal another 5 or 6 metres. They're now only 31 metres away, the Roosters. Working back to the right. Fittler, nice cutout ball for Fletcher. And a step, and Wing lost his footing. Able to dive on the loose ball. If he keeps his feet, he's half through the gap. And now Fittler's kick was charged down by Nathan Hindmarsh. A scramble for possession. Fittler's got there first. Tackle count restarts. Lomu. And then for Morley.
Second, let him up, Nick, quick.
A little bit of gusto into his run there as he approached Irvine and Kalis. Fitzgerald, or rather Fitzgibbon running, and Irvine I thought was probably not square a second marker there. He made the tackle. Wing now with the ball, 20 metres away from the line, working there with Fletcher. And it's been most impressive, the handling of both teams. They're switched on early for this game. And now with Brad Fittler, and they're lined up on the outside here with Morley. The Englishman is only 8 metres away from the line. On tackle number 5, Fittler will give the kicking duties to Wing this time. Wing's kick is over the dead ball line, and another 20-metre restart for Parramatta.
Great example of why Parramatta are the premiership favourites here. Defence wins big games. Faced with a couple of back-to-back sets of 6 against a side that have been throwing the ball around confidently. They're able to stave them off yet again. And the poor kick from Wing releases the pressure.
It is Daniel Wagon.
Parramatta
that Daniel Wagon is back 100% fit. He had that ankle injury for quite a while after Origin number 3. Forced him out of being the extra man for the test, in fact. He was picked as the 18th man, as now Taylor's with the ball. Passes wide for Vella. And Coulson damage standing wide on this left side, but Wing was there front on with Ricketson. And now with Hindmarsh running back at Ricketson. And Lomu is the other man there in the tackle. Parramatta 45 away from the Roosters line. Very tight battle early. Taylor again, some pressure from Benetti. And Taylor as a result. Again, I would say not his best kick. Phillips is with it.
It's shaping up as a wonderful battle, isn't it? Already you can see both sides are playing confidently with the football. In fact, I'm a little bit surprised that both teams are prepared to go as wide this early in a match. Already the Roosters so many times, a couple of cut-out passes, face passes, testing the Parramatta defence. And here they tested up the middle.
Jeering from the crowd, not happy with the 10 metres being held here by Bill Harrigan. Benetti is with the ball. Good pressure from Benetti on the last two kicks from Taylor. Just a little task that he obviously has today. He's carrying it out. Fittler kicks again. The shorter kick from 30 metres out. It bounces nicely, though, for Violecki. If it sits up at all, Wing has the first shot at it. Now Parramatta come out of trouble with Donald.
I've got to say, I'm surprised to see Parramatta go wide so early. When they played in the first round, they really cut the Roosters up around the middle of the ruck with good footwork and short passing. At the moment, they keep wanting to go to the edge of the field. Whether or not they're going to shorten it up later in this half remains to be seen.
Nathan Hindmarsh, 3 up there in the tackle on Nathan. Wagon gets at a dummy half, was playing for a penalty by running at Fletcher. Doesn't get the call he was hoping for from Harrigan. Irvine for Taylor. Props and then looks to pass back inside.
Now Michael Buettner needs to get into a kicking position here with Taylor playing it on the last tackle, and he's found space in behind the front line.
And gets the bounce, Michael Buettner. Gets the pass over the top, but it was knocked down. It was no panic at the back from the Roosters.
That was great defence from both Phillips and Minicello. They realised the pass was on. They got their arms up, deliberately stopped it from being thrown, and came up with possession, and now a penalty.
Well, this is high-quality stuff.
Yeah, good football by Buettner. Saw the space in behind. The ball sat up beautifully. Should have given the pass now. Minicello holds off. That forces him to run into the line. And Phillips and Minicello did particularly well there to stop the pass being thrown. Good defence. Good play by Buettner too.
And Benetti on the free kick for Wing. And then Lomu, who has come into his own in this back end of the season. They've gone through a few front rowers, the Roosters. Wing needed support there. Wagon drags him to ground. And he made 10 metres. Benetti, Fitzgibbon, 20 metres away from the Parramatta line as the Roosters build up again. Still no score in this match. Benetti back right with Wing. Now Fittler looking dangerous. Finds Phillips. Phillips, nice jink away from Taylor. Gets away from another. Keeps it alive, Luke. Phillips for Ricketson.
On the line.
Only 7 metres from the Parramatta line. This is pressure on the minor premiers again. Fletcher, nice flat pass, and there's a chance with the Englishman Morley. And passing around the corner, it has been lost. And Parramatta survive a little scare there. And Violecki runs away from the Eels line.
Leave him there, 1.
I don't know whether Murray's that disappointed though. Morley looking to offload.
2 to this line.
Yeah, you talk about Lomu coming into his own at the end of the season. I think that Adrian Morley could be the ace in the pack for the Roosters over the coming weeks as well. Quentin Pongia also making a return, but the class of this Englishman, it may just come through at the end of his first season in our NRL competition.
And Daniel Irvine, and he's been shifted up to the front row, Morley. And now there's a stripping penalty coming here. There's 3 in the tackle, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, this comes at the back of the end of set of 6 for Parramatta 2. A good penalty for them. We'll have a look on replay. Irvine stepping in amongst the forwards. Good hit from Morley. And he did have his arm on the ball as the other 2 players came in. Definitely 3 in the tackle, and there's no doubt Morley dislodged it, but it was just a good, solid shot.
Parramatta 40 metres away from the Roosters line. Vella takes the charge right in the centre of the field. Right on the Telstra sign. Irvine at dummy half to the right with Kalis and scoops it on for Taylor. Then brings Buettner into the play. He had a man on his outside line, and then outside of him was Donald, but took the tackle 28 metres away from the Roosters line. Lyon trots back in field. Interesting stat on Jamie Lyon, the only Parramatta player to play in every game this year. Daniel Irvine with it. Now 15 away and flicks it out the back. Little risky. Lyon there to pick it up. They keep it alive, the Eels, on the fingertips of Irvine. Kalis and Taylor, and now Wagon. 20 metres away from the line. Nathan Hindmarsh back inside for Violecki. Well read by Ricketson. He saw it coming. 10 away from the line. Taylor's with the ball again. Rushes up and gets it for Wagon. A real test on the Roosters right now. Tackle number 5, Nathan Hindmarsh. Back for Taylor. Pressure again on Taylor to get a kick in. Wide it comes, and Donald flying through. It is diffused by Flannery. Sunday football, no score, Roosters and Eels.
Yep.
You've had 13 minutes of play here at the Sydney Football Stadium. This round 26 clash. And well, there has been no unforced errors here at all. It's been very good play from both teams as Benetti gets a run here. Soft meters really there. They're a little tardy on the blind side, the Eels. Hegarty infield with Phillips and Lomu. A lot of strapping on both knees, Andrew Lomu. Ray Murray did predict at the start of the year he would be a player that would come through, and that is what has happened as Fittler takes on the defence that time. 38 metres away from the Parramatta line with Benetti for wing. Thought about the kick, had the ball held out way in front, got through the Taylor tackle. Taylor coming back onside then is able to dive on the pass from wing. But a couple of defensive blemishes this afternoon from Jason Taylor.
That's right, he has been targeted on 2 occasions. The first by Matt Singh when he went over the top. To play the ball, that's okay. Oh, gee. Right. Luke Ricketson has been ruled not to have stood squarely in the marker position.
You need to be dead smack in front of him, Luke, to be able to do that, mate. Dead smack in front, not out to the side.
Well, let's have a look. No dummy half. Luke Ricketson. Well, okay. We'll run with that one from Bill Harrigan. He was just a touch to the side, but it was a close thing.
Well, who was more out of position, Luke Ricketson or the Parramatta dummy half? They deserve to be penalised, Parramatta.
Still no score. Third penalty of the match. And now Kalis passes for Vella. And Vella contained. It's so impressive, this young Parramatta pack. Taylor passes wide for another one of the Tyros, Andrew Ryan. And Butner, 25 metres from the line. Kalis, the skipper, stands and offloads for Taylor, who turns and passes for Wagon. Wagon runs and gets away from wing. Wagon 10 metres from the line, back for Taylor. Taylor is only 2 metres from the line. And the Eels have a real chance here as they work left with Butner. Floating pass. Butner, or rather Burt, will score off the Butner pass. Luke Burt gets over. And Parramatta have the first try yet again. 4-0. Parramatta over the Roosters.
Keeping the ball alive, the Parramatta sides. This try set up by the run from Daniel Wagon. It was just a matter of getting it to the left. The ball comes out and we freeze it there. You can see that the outside Roosters defence, they're rushing up because they realise plenty of numbers out wide. It just means that the pass has got to be delivered by the Parramatta player to the right man, and it is. Luke Burt. Butner finding him, diving across in the corner. And good vision again, but the setup was from the previous play. Daniel Wagon almost putting Jason Taylor in.
Yeah, a little sign of panic there from Anthony Minicello, and he is prone to do that under pressure. When he feels outnumbered, he tends to rush in. He goes in on a man that Matt Singh would have tackled anyway. He'd have been much more benefit to his team staying wide where Luke Burt had positioned himself near the sideline. Michael Butner read it well, didn't panic. And that's the class of Parramatta. When you present an opportunity with numbers, more times than not, they will find the right pass.
That is an incredible statistic, isn't it? Now they've scored the first try in 24 of 26 games, the last 20 in a row. Might have been some doubt as to how they'd start this game without Brad Drew giving them that platform that he does in the first 20, but it's made little difference.
This is a good test for both sides. I think both sides are going to be pleased they're playing each other today. It's good preparation for the finals. They're really on their game. Good tough hit out before the big ones begin.
Fellas, we've got time out for a goal kick again here. Bill Harrigan only now blowing time back on. So the shot clock's in operation. Taylor's just put in his worst kick ever. 4-0 is the score in Sunday football. We'll break after 16 minutes. Sunday football. And Parramatta have first points as Fittler gets us back underway. Before the break, Jason Taylor, I think he's rather embarrassed by his attempt as Vella runs it back and bounces away from Morley. What happened here to Jason Taylor?
I think he's trying to put the tee and the ball both over. Got them both.
It's a bit like watching Tiger Woods duff it into the water, isn't it?
Marcus Keith straight through. Hurry up, fellas.
40 metres away from their own line. Irvine works right with Taylor. Little juggle for Ryan, and then Flannery comes up. It's a good tackle by Flannery coming up on the back rower. Jason Taylor, another run. And straight into Adrian Morley. He's getting a little bit of a battering today, Taylor. Another short kick from Buettner here for Parramatta. This time it doesn't come off. Fittler was back there, dumped it back for Flannery, and now for Phillips. 30 away from their own line. Phillips runs into Hindmarsh. He's straightened up. Allegations it was a little high. Not so sure about that. Nathan Hindmarsh.
It was a good solid shot. Good solid shot. Shoulder right into his chest.
Fitzgibbon just short of halfway. Fittler, Morley now. Well, he's certainly doing everything a front rower would do. If he is a rookie in this position, it's not showing. Fittler, 45 metres from the line, wing. They look dangerous to this right with Fletcher. That time not offloading. Fifth tackle for the Roosters, wing. And the kick will come from Fittler this time. And that is a towering kick from Brad Fittler. Violecki can't get a hand on it. It bounces up. It'll be a line dropout. Oh, that is scary stuff for a young fullback when Fittler launches one of those kicks.
Yeah, he kicked this one very, very high. It took an age to come down and swirled around in the breeze. The high torpedo bomb. Now this will change direction twice as it comes down. You'll see it swirl away from Violecki. Gets the fingertips to it. Thankfully gets a good bounce and he's able to defuse it. But he was running back. He thought that was going to land another 3 metres further back. But it swirls in the breeze as it comes down. In the end, he got a lucky bounce, but a great kick by Brad Fittler.
Well, exactly. That is an example of getting the bounce of the ball, isn't it? It could have so easily gone back to the Roosters. Chasers coming through. As Taylor has the line dropout. And wing for Morley to charge back to the 30-metre line.
I like the way that the Roosters ball players are taking the line on today. Not looking for too many tricky passes. Dummy, run themselves, put some pressure on the defence to make the tackle.
Lamu, the man playing it for Benetti. And then with Craig Wing, he's inside the 20. He's looking a confident number 7 at the moment, Craig Wing. And Phillips has got away from Irvine. 15 metres from the line, the Roosters. Fitzgibbon now. Puts on a spurt, is taken low by Irvine. 10 away from the line. Benetti gets out of dummy half. Then it comes for Hegarty. Hegarty dumps it back for Benetti. 10 metres from the Parramatta line. And that defence again, it regroups the Eels. And they keep on coming up. Now with Fittler. For Ricketson. Offloads for Fittler. Keeping it alive. They've turned it over, the Roosters. Parramatta back with the ball. And 4-0 it remains for the Eels. Coming off their own goal line with Kalis.
He held the ball and lost it in the end.
And we've got a mistake made by Parramatta as we see Michael Vella take a well-earned break after almost 20 minutes.
What's his name?
Some strong defence here on Nathan Kalis. Firstly by Adrian Morley, then Lomu.
He's coming to hit you ball.
Over the top, Ricketson. Ball becoming dislodged. And Bill Harrigan saying he lost it of his own volition.
Well, here is the opportunity for the Roosters on the back of that from Nathan Kalis. 20 metres away. Wing is going to attack the blind side with Singh. And breaking from the scrum was Wagon to make the tackle. Wing for Lomu. Looking to charge there at Jason Kalis, the man who has come on for Vella. And Jason Kalis, one of 2 of the Parramatta bench, who will be playing at the Roosters next year. Fletcher, one of the decoy runners, was there. That was Fitzgibbon. Well, so there you have it. If they score a try, they come back and say no try penalty. But in the runner play, unless a try scored, it's just play on. Fitzgibbon passes for Fittler, then passes risky there for Ricketson. Wagon opted not to attempt the intercept. Wing for Fitzgibbon. Still 5 metres from the line. And this Parramatta defence, best defence in the league, best attack as well. For Craig Wing. And then for Fittler, never had control of the football. He had 3 cracks at it. Kalis for Buettner. Now there's trouble. Put down by Lyon. And Flannery comes up. He was almost presented with a 4-pointer.
A little bit of interest there from the blue and gold as Jamie Lyon has the ball stripped and will earn a penalty.
2 in there.
2 in the tackle.
2 in there.
They are a wonderful defensive outfit, this Parramatta side. They cover each other beautifully. And as I've pointed out on a couple of occasions throughout the season, their communication is second to none. Constantly pointing, talking to each other, leaving no doubt in anyone's mind as to which player is to be taken by who.
Parramatta come away from the 20-metre line. The Kalis brothers combined there. Very close to a forward ball from Nathan to Jason. Irvine for Taylor. Dummied back inside to Violecki. Probably wishes he had a pass. Lomu cleaned him up. Nathan Hindmarsh now. Inside the Eels 40. He'll take the defence with him. Fitzgibbon wrestles him to ground. 2 country boys there. Irvine for Wagon, and then a cutout ball across for Jamie Lyon. I mentioned played every game this year. In fact, he's played every game since he came into first grade round 21 last year. Has not missed a match. And Parramatta now 42 metres away from the Roosters line. Daniel Irvine and Hindmarsh for Taylor, kicking from the 40-metre line, but this one drilled at the sideline. Will be a Roosters scrum feed. 15 out from their own line. Paul Harrigan sideline.
Yeah, it's just amazing from the sideline here. This Parramatta team that just seem to be ticking over, playing within themselves this first 20 minutes. They're, they're so calm, they're well drilled, and without a doubt, the Roosters have had the ascendancy the first half or the first 20 minutes, and they just ready to unleash at any time. They're just a top team, this Parramatta side.
Well, that last loss that they had was against the Warriors. That was round 18 on July 9. As I mentioned at the top, the only loss previous to that, we go all the way back to March 25, a match we did on a Sunday afternoon that saw the send-off of Alex Chan. So they finished the game with 12 men and they lost to the Canberra Raiders, but that seems an awful long time ago. It's a wonderful record for this club. Shannon Hegarty in the half. We mentioned at the top 2, Paul Green back from that fractured eye socket. He's on the bench. Not sure whether he'll come into play necessarily in the first half.
Yeah, you'd think he would come into the half-back role. I'm sure Graham Murray is in no hurry to get him out there with the way Craig Winger started this game. I pointed out he looks very confident, and he has. Very dangerous when he's taking the line on. Violecki needs to hurry to get this one as well. Chase is excellent from Singh. The Roosters have picked up a nice 50 to 60 metres with that kick.
Well, I was going to say that would have been another 40-20, but we can't credit Brad with the first one. There was no ruling when it showed how clearly they had a 40-20 early. Jason Moody with the ball. Back to the 30-metre mark for Parramatta. Irvine hasn't had too many opportunities to run as yet, Daniel Irvine, which is a little different to what the Eels are accustomed to with Brad Drew, as Irvine that time was able to promote the situation for Parramatta. And playing the ball as Wagon, he was hit pretty hard in the tackle. Taylor, that's been put down by Ryan. So in Sunday football, on Father's Day, we break at 4-0 to Parramatta. 25 minutes gone. And the Roosters in possession on the back of a changeover.
Of field position in this opening 25 minutes. That ball floating forward from Cusack, a front rower at dummy half doing a poor job. Parramatta have been defending grimly at their own end of the field for most of the 25 minutes. They've only been down to the Roosters quarter once and scored a try. The Roosters are going to have to come up with some defence of their own. In the last set of 6, Parramatta just started to open them up a little bit around the middle of the ruck.
In the old pass the ball days, that Peter Cusack pass probably would have got a 3. Was well shy of the elephant. As here goes Andrew Ryan. Nice run, able to offload, and Nathan Hindmarsh now does a dance to get away from Michael Crocker. And still goes Nathan Hindmarsh, now up to the 20-metre line. Well, we call Gordon Tallis the raging bull. There was plenty of Tallis in that from Nathan Hindmarsh. Daniel Irvine, switch of play from Taylor for Violecki. Inside the Roosters 20, Violecki bumped away from Crocker. He's come off the bench and Michael Crocker suddenly having to pick up the tempo. Taylor for Kalis, 9 metres away from the line. Here is a chance. Violecki passed too early. Beautiful defence from the Roosters winger. Minicello, Parramatta still score. But Minicello, confronted by 2-on-1, almost saved the try in the end. Moody gets the 4-pointer.
They just keep the ball alive, looking for the weakness, looking for the overlap, looking for the hole. Nathan Kalis coming back on an inside run after this superb effort by Nathan Hindmarsh. So strong. The big fend into the chest, got rid of Cusack, carried a couple more players. Eventually Ricketson got him. Now you see Kalis come back on the inside. Doesn't look like there's much on. He realises he's got to get the ball away, which he does. So if we freeze it there, you can see that Matt Singer's come in. This is bringing this defender in, and eventually the reaction on the outside continues as well as Parramatta keep the ball alive. They've now established 3-on-2. Minicello, well, he was confronted by 2 and he nearly got away with it because, yes, David Violecki did pass a touch early, but they did get the ball over the line. Good work from Kalis here. He attracted 3 and brought Singh in.
Yeah, David Violecki had a try for the offering there with a dummy. Minicello confronted by 2. Took the right option on that occasion, but couldn't come up with a grab. And Moody with strength was able to push his way over. Jason Taylor from nearly the identical spot where he had that horror kick.
This time it's been time on for the kick as Taylor is unsuccessful again, none from 2. And here in Sunday football, it is 8-0, Paul Harrigan sideline.
Yeah, well, how the Roosters be feeling right now? As I said before, they had most of the ascendancy in this game. Parramatta come down there into the field twice and they score twice, but this is a good try here. I'll tell you what, Violecki, I think he's a fantastic player, passing the ball now. Last week scored a couple of tries, made a heap of metres too. He's a vital player for the Parramatta Eels.
I suppose in the end, Minicello did have a fair shot at Moody. And didn't get him over the sideline or hold him up.
Yeah, having made the right decision, he just came up with a poor attempted tackle.
Stay behind, fellas.
And the Eels seem very content when they come down that end of the field to keep switching the ball back to Minicello's side of the field, understanding the fact that he and Matt Singh can sometimes get their wires crossed a little bit. 2 tries to the Eels down in this corner.
11.5 remaining in the first half. It's round 26 clash. Parramatta first on the ladder, Roosters 6th, and that is how they will go into the finals.
Mark him up straight.
Behind the Roosters, both the Dragons and the Warriors. The Warriors 8th. They remain at 8th after a loss to the Cowboys earlier today. And Parramatta with the ball on their own 20.
We see PJ Marsh into the action for the first time. That's him running with the football now in jersey 14. A lot of talk with Brad Drew out of this game. I've got to say that in the first 20-25 minutes, no one better on the field than Daniel Irvine. Some great defence and some very astute dummy half work, so he did his job perfectly.
Taylor's kick from inside the 40, and it's down the centre. And now bounces into the clutches of Phillips, who changes his angle, linking up with a player that's really turning into one of the most improved in the competition, Chris Flannery. He hasn't missed too many games this year in first grade, and he's covered a few positions as well. He doesn't seem to make too many mistakes. And Crocker now with the ball. There's another young man we hadn't even heard of before the season started. And he's into the 20s as far as first grade appearances are concerned, as wing passes wide here for Witters. He passes around the corner and away they go again with Hegarty. 15 metres away from the line, back with Flannery. 4 metres from the Parramatta line, and the Eels scramble is working well. Phillips passes wide for Wing. 10 metres out from the line, and Crocker goes through for the Roosters. Their scramble working well, but not quite good enough that time. Crocker gets the try. It is 8 points to 4.
He's an impressive young player off the bench, is Michael Crocker, but good work on the far side, again setting this try up. Beautiful offload from Witters. He has that ability. And a real speed man in Shannon Hegarty. Now the winger comes back on the inside. It's well covered by Parramatta. The regroup well, Violecki making the try saver. But then the straight running of Crocker out wide, unable to be stopped by Parramatta. We freeze it there. You can see the gap there. He runs back into it, not going across as everybody else is as play continues. And Crocker able to run into the hole. Lutbert staying out wide. Butner diving from the inside. Just very good hole running there from the try scorer.
Yeah, good work here by Craig Wing. Went across the field, in and out. He brings Crocker back hard against the slide defence. Bit of a try scorer as he came through the lower grades at the Roosters. Hard running, second row. Got a bit of speed too and a step. A fine ball by Dean Witters on the other side of the field, putting Hegarty away. And whilst that'll please the Roosters today, it may just prove to be good for his future coach, Brian Smith, sitting on the sideline. He is, of course, going to Parramatta next season.
Crocker has the attempted goal. His aim at the start of the year was to play one first-grade game before his 21st birthday. He'd played a dozen when that happened earlier this year. He's successful. All the points to Crocker. 8-6 in Sunday football to the Parramatta Eels.
Stay behind the kick, fellas.
Another good crowd here at the Sydney Football Stadium today. I would think pretty close to the 20,000 mark. Deep kick-off, almost over that dead ball line. And Cusack runs it back for the Roosters.
The restart was taken by Paul Green. You see him there at dummy half. And one extra one for the Roosters in the interchange department.
Simon Benetti then offloading for Ricketson. Running there at Michael Butner. Hegarty in a dummy half. Ricketson wasn't happy with the release from the Parramatta defenders. He thought he was entitled to get up a little quicker. They're on their own 40 and a chance for Fittler to attempt another 40-20 kick. This one getting it over the head of Donald. Gee, that's a friendly bounce, that. Back into his arms. And Parramatta have the ball 30 metres away from their own line. If it kicks on, suddenly Donald would have had to turn on that speed that he has. Violecki with the ball. This is as friendly as it can possibly get. And Donald, who we said earlier today on the footy show, 23 tries in 2 grades this year. Burt now the first try scorer today for Parramatta. Just short of halfway. Daniel Wagon. Infield they come with Robinson. He's another one off to the Roosters. Chad Robinson and Jason Kalis. And away for Taylor. Right on the centre of halfway. Back for Nathan Hindmarsh, who makes something out of nothing there. Nathan Hindmarsh. Now Burters with the ball. Runs it back infield from centre. Now shows us a nice step. And passes and offloads for Violecki. Little kick back infield from Violecki. Taylor gets through with a big figure. Dean Witters gets himself between Taylor and the ball to cover up and does well for the Sydney Roosters.
It's an attractive brand of football, isn't it? Great ball from Nathan Hindmarsh. Good run here from Luke Burt. Wonderful pass also to Violecki. He sees Taylor on the far side. Witters does well to cover up.
Meantime, the Roosters are back to their own 30. There was absolutely nothing doing on that previous play, and Hindmarsh got it going, and Burt followed up. And now Fletcher is with the ball for the Roosters. That pops up. Was it stripped? It's play on the call. Parramatta defence into attack with Wagon.
How could a ball pop up like that if it wasn't being contested by the defender?
Well, he's ruled, I guess, that Fletcher had it available and trying to pass it, therefore it was fair game. I don't know. I can't see the difference in a stripping rule to that.
PJ Marsh right with Butner. Cut out ball for Jamie Lyon. Takes on Hegarty. 2 young centres. Hegarty makes the tackle, and assist from Flannery. At a dummy half goes Donald, the former Cowboy. 5 metres from the Roosters line. And former junior Kangaroo as well. PJ Marsh. Butner wide with Taylor. 15 out from the line for Robinson. He spins in the tackle. Well held by Paul Green. That's a nice feeler back into first grade for Paul Green. Little kick through from Wagon. Phillips tries to knock it dead. Now he has to run it. There's a chance for Phillips to get back to the field of play. Oh, that's a mighty effort from Luke Phillips. You could call the first attempt at the ball a fumble, but then he recovered so well. And the Roosters are with it, 10 out.
Oh, this is good play. He gets it away from Wagon. Now he's got a lot of work to do. Marsh chases him across the field. Lyon comes in strongly, but just strength and commitment gets him back into the field of play. That makes a big difference.
And does it what? Suddenly there with the ball, 30 away from their own line. Green works blindside with the try scorer Crocker. Now for Matt Singh, puts the fend on Burt, and Singh is away. 20 metres from the line. Support not coming quick enough. In fact, he's gone over the sideline.
They continue to have some success down the right-hand side of the field. And Matt Singh on a couple of occasions now has busted the line. This time it's just a simple one-on-one miss. Burt trying to go high on Singh. The big fend got around Violecki with pace. But look at the cover defence coming. 3 men there. And the touch judge did well to be right on the spot to see the man over the sideline before he'd passed.
Well, the Roosters in the first 20 minutes of this game were camped on the Parramatta line. Couldn't come up with a try. But a long-range effort from Hegarty, and this time by Singh, shows that from long range, they are probably more dangerous with their speed and passing out wide.
Well, Gus, I for one, are salivating about these finals that are coming up. This is just an example of them today. This is high quality. Butner is away. Now he can test the old legs on the run. to Michael Buettner. That is a 90-metre try to Parramatta, the minor premiers. What a four-pointer. 12-6 here at the stadium.
Well, if you love watching rugby league, you'd be salivating at that pass from Jamie Lyon. A cruel blow for the Roosters when you consider they've almost just scored. And then from a simple scrum play, Jamie Lyon puts a little move on a couple of defenders, throws the ball almost blind to a flying Michael Buettner. And with that much head start, no one is going to catch him. Maybe Scott Donald, but nobody else. And in the twinkling of an eye, we've seen a big turnaround in fortunes. Jamie Lyon, what a talent this kid is. Absolutely superb. And Buettner, who's had a good start to this game, has a look around, sees that there's nobody within Cooey. He'll put the head down.
Well, Jamie Lyon was actually looking back inside. He was looking to his left. There didn't seem any chance or any intention whatsoever to look for support on the outside. But such is the combination in this Parramatta team, such as their try-scoring prowess. When there was no one on the left, he said, well, there must be someone on the right. I'll throw it up there. And Buettner didn't let him down. Supported his young centre and was rewarded with a 70-metre try.
Not often you see that stat next to the name of Taylor Nunn from 2. There's a nice shot from right in front. 1 from 3 for JT. 14-6, Chief on the sideline.
That a Parramatta team just absorbed so much pressure then, and they did it because they're the best defensive team in the competition. But the facts are they're the best attacking team too, and they just unleash an amazing outfit, and this man in full stride is something special coming into the semi-finals for the Eels.
Yeah, I'll make my apologies to Michael. I said the old legs, but it is when you're talking in comparison to some of these Eels. He got the pass from the 19-year-old Jamie Lyon. Then you got the likes of the 20-year-old David Violecki and Luke Burt. And then a host of young forwards there. At 27, you are a veteran in this Parramatta side. As Jason Kalis rushes back for Parramatta. And the time to score the try inside that final 2 minutes of the first 40. With it is Chad Robinson. But this has been most enjoyable, the contest and the entertainment provided by both teams. Some great skills. And the Roosters not out of this one by any stretch. David Violecki to the 40-metre line, was ankle tapped by Fletcher. Now at a dummy half goes PJ Marsh. Flat ball there for Robinson on the charge. He can move back for PJ Marsh. 25 metres from the line, Ricketson made the tackle. There's 30 seconds remaining in the first half. Last tackle here for Parramatta. Taylor gets a kick in. That one wobbles its way to Flannery. So last chance for points for Parramatta has gone by the by. It is 14-6.
There was an opportunity to spread the ball there for Jason Taylor. And I think Michael Buettner got in his way. Just stopped the long ball to the outside supports as Fittler tries to go wide and start something for the Roosters. In the end, he rushed his kick and it fizzled out for them. But they're playing good football, the Parramatta Eels now.
Passes for Singh. This will be the final play of the first half. Ricketson, they're going to rush left. No, Cusack decides to take the tackle. So that ends high quality stuff. Right off the top shelf the first 40 minutes. 3 tries to 1. The Eels led 8-0 early. Got it out to 8 points to 6. With that Buettner try just before half-time, they go to the break leading by 14 points to 6. Stay with us. Sunday football from the Sydney Football Stadium. Back in a moment. Great struggle the first half here at the Sydney Football Stadium as the players trot back out for the second 40 minutes. Some lovely touches as well from both teams. The Roosters not out of this one. It is 14-6. 3 tries to 1 to Parramatta as we review some of the statistics to come out of the first 40 minutes here in Sunday football.
Yes, Andrew, our Tui's new possession flow chart shows that was a great start from the Roosters. Look at that, plenty of good quality possession. Then too many mistakes from there to there. The good thing, I suppose, is the fact that they were making mistakes late in the tackle count. So really just a dusty period in the middle. Not a lot of football, 18 possessions, but been a lot of ball movement. So that'll compare favourably with the Parramatta flow as we have a look at that, and isn't that impressive? Plenty of double blue lines there. You can see the tennis balls where double blue lines appear. The error columns, well, a couple of little ones there, and again late in the tackle count. That's very good. 18 completions from 22. They're giving themselves every opportunity for success.
And the statistics from the first half, 14-6 to Parramatta, 3 tries to 1. Line breaks fairly even, the kicks fairly even, the tackles fairly even, but this is where they tell the story. Missed tackles, 17 for the Roosters, too many and a half of football, and most of those have been on Nathan Hindmarsh. 52% possession to Parramatta, 3 tries to 1.
Wagon, very strong first half. Jason Taylor didn't have the best first half with a boot. Only landed 1 from 3. Second half is underway in Sunday football with Luke Burt, one of the try scorers from the first half. And will that try by Michael Butner just before the break be one of the turning points in the match? It has opened up an 8-point buffer. Roosters return with Dean Witters over the 20-metre line. Some of the individual stats from the first half. Tackle counts, Benetti and Ricketson up at the top. No surprise, Benetti 18 tackles, Ricketson 19. And for Parramatta, 16 tackles from Nathan Hindmarsh and 23 from Andrew Ryan. 9 hit-ups also for Nathan Hindmarsh and 10 hit-ups for Craig Fitzgibbon. So on the tackle count, Michael Butner has made 12 tackles this afternoon as Luke Phillips has a little spin as he gets just inside Parramatta territory. First set of 6 for the second half. Last tackle, Fittler chipped and then got one in the back and gets his side. A penalty 30 metres out.
Parramatta will take on the Warriors on Sunday out at Parramatta Stadium. See what both coaches do in this second 40 minutes.
And the kick from Crocker from 30 metres out is successful. So they get the first points after the break, and the margin is now 6. It is 14-8. And Michael Crocker, a former Redcliffe boy, whose former club yesterday advanced to the grand final of the Queensland competition. He will play either Toowoomba or Burleigh in the grand final, and I know he follows that competition very closely. And he certainly has been a vital player to the Roosters machine this year, Michael Crocker. He made his first grade debut in 6. Luke Burt restarts play for the Eels. Deep kickoff. Fittler's got it covered, and oh gee, there was close there. Cusack was standing just over the dead ball line. I reckon he was only just inside the dead ball line when he captured the ball. And it was captured because he could have been caught over the dead ball line. Look at this. He's... oh, gee, well, hang on. He's taken off from beyond the dead ball line. Sterlo, what's the call?
No, it was okay. He had his heel raised.
Only just.
I'll bet he didn't know he had his heel raised.
Roosters on their 30. And away with Ricketson. Taylor taking Ricketson across field with Paul Green in his comeback game. Fittler kicks from 45 metres out from his line. A little bit of work here for Violecki getting back. Hodgson rested from today. Likewise, Brad Drew and Ian Hindmarsh. We'll hear from Brad Drew shortly with the Chief. And Parramatta with Donald. And away for Moody. Scored the second try in that first half. Parramatta with it on their own 20. All 3 of those players will be light as rain for the first week of the finals next Sunday when they take on the 8th placed Warriors, Parramatta. They will play at Parramatta Stadium next Sunday. And we'll go to the Chief at the end of this set of 6 as PJ Marsh goes for a dart, got straight past Crocker. Now where's the support for PJ Marsh? 30 metres is wrong-footed Luke Phillips. That was Changalangland stuff. 21 metres away from the Roosters line. They keep the attack coming. Wagon and Violecki then passes on the outside. The kick off the leg of Flannery. That'll be a knock-on against the Roosters, will it? No. He says knock back from Benetti. And the Roosters have the ball.
That's a marvellous effort from Benetti to get back there after a long break from Marsh and then a rush down the short side. Little hooker, leg must have been pumping to get back there with all the backs. There's no doubt that he's knocked that on. Gee whiz, that's a bad call from Bill Harrigan. No doubt that he knocked that ball on.
Well, OK, I'm going to raise the argument again. Why doesn't he get a call in his ear from up where we are?
Well, they told us today they would interject if they saw something obviously gone awry.
Green's going for a 40-20 here. He's kicked it from inside the 30. This one, will it find the sideline? It does. That is a big kick from Paul Green. They will have a scrum feed 15 metres out from the line. Great result for the Roosters.
And the reason that Parramatta would feel aggrieved is that they should have had a knock-on called against Simon Benetti and have the football at the other end. All of a sudden, we now have Paul Green coming up with a superb kick, a 40-20, and now they're under the hammer looking to defend their own line.
Well, they should have had one early in the first half. It was about this point too, about 6 minutes in now. What Harrigan's ruled is that Simon Benetti is raking the ball back towards him. Anyway, we'll leave that behind because Fittler steps. Fittler will score for the Roosters. How many times have you seen that in the glorious career of Freddie Fittler? He gets one here at the stadium. He's ready for the finals. It's 14-12.
And that try and the subsequent conversion will even things up here. And just a lovely step. Normally a left foot stepper, but the big right this time. If we freeze it there, you can see he's going to put the step on this man who is drifting across with him. It's Violecki, and as Fittler steps and play continues, then he gets the left-hand fend into the chest of Daniel Wagon, who's broken from the scrum. In between the two, the big step to beat one, then the fend to beat the second.
And the key to this is the fact that the Roosters' outside players get so far away, it stretches the inside defence off the scrum base and allows this great player to use his step and his strength. Support players way out to the right-hand side of the field. He gets it. He's got no intention other than just to take the man on in front of him. Now straight in, Daniel Wagon. He's no slouch. One of the best defenders in the game. Overrated. Take that home and write about it.
Is that another way of saying jam it up your jumper? As the kick will come from 10 metres away. Crocker is just to the side of the uprights. He's got 2 from 2. They're going to be all square in a moment. Here it is for Michael Crocker. It is all locked up in Sunday football. They've erased the halftime deficit. We will break it 14-all. .7 minutes gone, so 7 minutes into the second half. And an 8-point deficit is wiped away.
Stay behind.
Bird has the restart of play. We'll be watching out for Peter Cusack here if he comes into play. Well, I'm happy to say he's in the dead ball area here. He won't get the ball though. And there's some good defence from the Eels, although the offload back for Green. And that took a bit of confidence. And the Roosters now with Hegarty. Now we've kept the chief waiting a little too long. Paul Harrigan, sideline, halftime report.
That's quite all right. I've got Brad Drew with me here. First of all, we have an arrest this week. Got to ask you, a little bit frustrating with the rotational system that Parramatta have. You'd love to be out there today.
I'd definitely love to be out there today, but I mean, it's not too frustrating. We train as a big unit out there, so I'm not too fussed getting a week off this week.
Pretty good. Okay, halftime, what was said in there?
Basically just trying to get a couple of repeat sets on. It was pretty hot out there in the first half, and just starve them a little bit of possession, and you know, just work our sets of 6 outs and see how we go.
What about next week? Must be excited playing the Warriors at Parramatta Stadium.
Yeah, I thought they would have won today. It's a bit surprising about the result, but we're looking forward. I'm very much looking forward to the game next week, and hopefully we can get our first semi-winner.
I'm sure we will. Thanks very much for that from the Roosters camp, Graham Murray. He basically had 2 simple ones. Target Jason Taylor a little bit more defensively. He wants his outside backs to stay out and stay on their man.
And Parramatta have the ball just inside their own half. Luke Burt at 14-all here. And as was the case with Friday night, just the perfect tune-up to go into the finals. As Nathan Hindmarsh is with it. Contest, everyone has to be on their game from here on in. Marsh's kick is past Phillips. It's going to pull up, is it? No. It will be a 20-metre restart this time for the Roosters.
I just think that sometimes PJ Marsh rushes where he's got a little bit more time to draw the defence to him.
Well, he's just given away a penalty for running past and knocking the ball out of Simon Benetti's hands under the nose and the eyes of referee Bill Harrigan.
Well, they should put him on detention for this. Out of the hands of Simon Benetti. And right out 100 times I will not knock the ball out of another player's hands. That is a little petulant, really, the act there of PJ. Peter John. And that's how he'd be addressed when he gets called out. Peter John, come here. Roosters 40 metres away from their own line. Hegarty with it, another run. This is where he really does his work at a dummy half. Benetti for Green. And then passes for Fittler. Wagon gets up on Fittler and keeps it alive. Brad Fittler again showing great strength. Benetti with the ball, running at Butner. They're on halfway, the Roosters, 14-all. 8 straight points to the Roosters in the second half. Witters goes for a dash here at PJ Marsh. Now 45 from the Parramatta line. Paul Green goes across field, selects his man. That man is Ricketson.
We have seen a positional change for Parramatta. Jason Moody's at fullback, Violet in the centres as Fittler goes to the air once again. Moody underneath it.
And Moody comes down with it. And comes down with it and is running. Back over the 20-metre line. Cusack made the tackle. Moody, who played fullback for the country origin side this year. Gee, Minicello's gone off early on the leap. Solomona, the former Rooster, prepares to come into this game. Michael Buettner blindside with Vella. 2 halfway, got through the tackle of Wing. Quick play the ball, good work from Michael Vella. Jamie Lyon, long ball there for Taylor. They keep it going for Hindmarsh. Hindmarsh is standing there. 3 in the tackle. Now he gets the offload. Kept alive over the top from Ryan. Parramatta, wonderful play. Violecki. Violecki will get to the corner. Violecki gets over. We may be off to the video referee, though.
I think he's into touch, but I think it's a great tackle, and it may be from Crocker, although Violecki is very determined that he has got the try. What about the Colossus, Nathan Hindmarsh? What do you think?
No, I think his shoulder has brushed the corner post before he's got the ball down. I think under his breath he was saying to his teammates, I don't know. He hasn't made the line with the first lunge.
Nah.
His shoulder has actually touched the corner post, then the ball's got onto the ground. You'll see the ball come down here. The ball comes down before the line. Now his shoulder will go onto the corner post.
Yep.
Now the ball will roll over. That's the way I see it.
Well, I'm of the same opinion, I must admit. I think that the ball is grounded short, and then in between the ball getting over the line, his shoulder actually touches the corner post. Still.
Can I just say that maybe it caught a piece of the line first?
Well, yeah, look, that's the decision that needs to be made, and that's why we're looking at it quite a few times. Video referee coming to the fore once again. It's short there. The hand is touching the line. No, I'm still confident of a red light, I must admit.
I look at that, Gus, and I reckon his elbow was on the sideline before it actually comes into contact with a corner post.
Well, the other one showed us that his arm was actually on the line without the ball, with the ball above it. You'll see it here. His ball will roll over the hand to get to the try line. He comes down first. Now the ball will roll over his hand before it touches the line. Meanwhile, I believe his back has touched the corner post. So it was just with his hand under the ball on the white line that could prevent him for a try. But if they go benefit of the doubt here, I couldn't complain.
What about the effort from Nathan Hindmarsh? He was holding 3 off, threw the ball back inside, opened it up out wide, turned something in from nothing, and the decision now coming, and it is a no try with a 20-metre restart.
So saying that the corner post was taken, I actually would have been happy if it was scrum. 10 metres out, having gone through the 5 or 6 replays. A 20-metre restart for the Roosters, and we've got a false start. Mobile back into position. Craig Wing passes for Cusack. Bigger crowd than they have at the Trots, Gus, here at the stadium.
Daniel Irvine back into the game for Parramatta, and David Solomona has been on for a couple of minutes. There he was at marker.
Hegarty now to the 40-metre line. Buettner's got him, all in all. Another tackle for Michael Buettner. Now 19 tackles this afternoon. Witters with the ball. 5 inside his own half at 14 all. Real tense, real semi-final stuff. Craig Wing with the ball. And Hindmarsh there to make the tackle. And now the kick from Fittler. Probably not his best. It picks out Moody, who accelerates as he gets to the defence of Hegarty.
Yeah, I think he thought chip kick there, Fittler, then changed his mind halfway through it and came up with an in-betweener. Not a good one. They've had a couple of let-offs, the Roosters, but they've usually come back strong when they've had a bit of luck.
Moody infield for Solomona. The Roosters will know of his potency, of his offloading ability.
And with Daniel Irvine back in for Parramatta, Jason Taylor is the man who has been interchanged. PJ Marsh goes to halfback. Buettner throws it past. Well taken there by Andrew Ryan. It was well behind him at speed.
And Buettner got the ball off a lovely little flick out the back from Nathan Kalis. Taylor Watches on from the bench as the kick is driven deep by PJ Marsh. This one from halfway. That is a big kick off the boot. It really flew and has gone over the dead ball line. And it is still rolling. It is about a 70-metre kick from PJ Marsh.
We saw a bit of this last week and again in the first half. I don't know whether that end of the field here at the Sydney Football Stadium is extremely hard or not, but I haven't seen a ball pull up in the end goal down that end for a couple of weeks.
Interchanges are level as we go into the last 25 minutes of this game. And you just thought at halftime, even at 14-6, that it was going to be a long way from over. As Flannery rushes away down the left side. He is 30 metres now, 20 metres away. Moody just waited and waited.
And Michael Buettner is down, getting treatment for cramp, so it's a 12-man line for Parramatta as Green goes wide.
And
finds
it's
Phillips.
Luke Phillips almost through the tackle of Nathan Hindmarsh. Only 11 metres from the line, Fittler's a dummy half. Passes up there for Ricketson, two of the seasoned players. Intercept for Solomona. Green was the intended man for the pass, and it came up for David. And Parramatta back in possession, and they weren't rattled, but they were under a fair deal of pressure. Another offload there from Nathan Hindmarsh for Luke Burt. Nathan Hindmarsh having such another strong game. There he is again, striding through the tackle of Cusack. He's gone over the 30-metre line.
Well, the Eels didn't muck around with Buettner. They just got him straight off and sent Daniel Wagon out. He actually ran back into the defensive line well out towards the winger. There's Buettner receiving attention.
That gets him into a little bit of it.
Sorry, Gus. I just saw Solomona pop a ball to Donald, who was almost away.
I thought he was gone. That's why I started to speak.
Kalis, wide it comes for Ryan. There's a little left footer from Andrew Ryan. Phillips attacks it, and then it's taken high by Vella. It was a very loose arm. Gee, allow the play to continue, although I can't really blame Bill Harrigan there. He blew his whistle straight away, reacting to the high tackle.
I'm going to give you the benefit of that whether you got him here or you got him there. And the only thing to say is he kept going. It's on report.
Well, I don't understand that. The only thing that saves you is that he kept going. So is Bill Harrigan saying if he went down and was hurt, you were gone? What does that mean?
Well, that's a worrying week now and a worrying couple of days now for Michael Vella. You wait all year, you play so well. The semi-finals next week, you're playing in a game that you don't need to win, and suddenly you find yourself on report with the semi-finals starting next weekend.
I understand your confusion, Peter, and it goes back to that Jason Stevens one. The transcript of the conversation between video referee and linesman was, give it a soft report. Did he elbow him in the head or not?
Yeah, I'm afraid I don't understand that at all. When you start coming into where the players get injured by an incident out there, an action out there, then we've got real problems. That is not what decisions should be made upon. Phillips getting heavily involved.
He is the man, Luke Phillips, 49 metres away from the Parramatta line. And Paul Green will kick from just inside Eels territory. Burt's turned around, quickest at the club. Back goes Moody. He's with the ball, Jason Moody. Looking good now, the Roosters.
I was about to say earlier, Andrew Voss, that Brian Smith is in a little bit of interchange problem here. Michael Buettner had to leave the field with cramps. That was their 8th. There was still 25 minutes left on the clock. I'm sure he'd like more up his sleeve, particularly with trying to give players an easier time leading into the semi-finals. And the Roosters full of running at the moment.
And the Irvine will play it outside the 20. Nathan Kalis, then on for Nathan Hindmarsh. Looks to run at Dean Witters. Gets an assist from Hegarty in defence. Roosters have had more ball inside Parramatta's half. As PJ Marsh kicks into the back there of Hegarty. Vella comes up with the ball. He's lost it. Play on for the Roosters. Knock on both ways. First one against Parramatta here.
And Bill Harrigan had signalled 6 again for Parramatta if Michael Vella had been able to control that ball. It was a charge down, a deliberate charge down, so the ball was played at by Shannon Hegarty. And Michael Vella unable to control it once confronted by Simon Bonetti. In fact, by Hegarty, the man who charged the kick down.
They're playing tough right now, the Roosters. And Matt Singh trying to get on the outside of Violecki. Then a hurdling Minicello passes back for Singh. Infield they come with Phillips. He comes to a stop and now will take the tackle.
That's one now. Let him
They will set for the next play. Fitzgibbon finds himself a dummy half. Slow play the ball on the back of a Hindmarsh tackle. First receiver is Green, then for Wing. He ran around the back of Morley. And that is a Shepherd and a penalty to Parramatta.
Not a bad play if you can get away with it. Unfortunately illegal. A little bit of lack of communication there. Craig Wing just fading across the field. Morley comes straight. And there's no doubt that Craig Wing goes right around the back of him. Green was the passer. They certainly get the feeling, the Roosters, as though they can win this game. They're on top at the moment. A good test for the Eels. Semi-finals on their mind. How will they play up this last 20 minutes?
And it was the player who wasn't able to make the tackle. Look at Nathan Hindmarsh again. Oh, Singh. He did very well to hang on there. There were two men unmarked on the outside. Daniel Wagon now. That's one of the best tackles on Nathan Hindmarsh we've seen in this game. Parramatta 41 metres away from the Roosters line. Andrew Ryan, his stats are very impressive today. Another hit up, 35 metres away. He has made 34 tackles and 9 hit ups, Andrew Ryan. Parramatta with Kalis. He's lost the ball in the tackle. That is play on for the Roosters. He may have been trying to offload as Fitzgibbon goes to the right. Now Minicello fends away from Burt. He's got a couple wrong-footed, then away from Irvine. Irvine comes again. And the Roosters short of halfway. It's been good on the turnover too. It's another one of the highlights of the Roosters today. Straight away into attack. Not that Parramatta have been bad in that department either. Long pass at a dummy half. Witters patrolling down the left side, slips it around the corner for Flannery. Flannery stays away from that sideline in the Donald tackle. Hegarty infield. Lomu puts on some speed and has wrapped up 18 metres away from the Parramatta line. Eels have been kept scoreless in this second half. It is 14-all as Green marches forward for his captain Fittler. And collected over the top. A real hard tackle from Vella. He's been hurt. Fittler. It was Kalis low and Vella over the top. Wing to the right with Green, 10 metres out. The kick's a good one. The kick is very good. Moody has to bat it over the dead ball line. We've got a line drop out here.
Very good ending to a very good set of 6. Plenty of tricolour supporters here as Fittler, bleeding from the mouth, gets some attention. Very strong hit on the Roosters captain. It's an accidental one up high there from Michael Valley. You see the reaction from Freddie. Dean Witter's doing a good job. He's almost playing a role that we saw Solomona play for the Roosters last year. Coming off the bench, attracting a couple of defenders, popping balls.
And he'll be at Parramatta as well next year. Really runs back 25 metres away from the Parramatta line. Fitzgibbon has a little blindside dart. Violecki low. Quick play, the ball was a good one. Minicello. Minicello is now only 5 away. Parramatta severely tested here. Fitzgibbon for Green. Green over the head of Craig Wing. On the bounce to Fittler. Back for Craig Wing. Keeps alive. 15 away from the line. Got away from Hindmarsh. Their leading try scorer, Craig Wing. 10 metres away. Plays it for Fitzgibbon. They work back to the left with Green. The switcher play back inside. It breaks down for the Roosters. One tackle left in this set. Maybe looking for another repeat. They are with Fittler's little kick. It's covered up by Moody. He's lost it. Oh, there's not a claim of a try. I think Moody has forced it for the knock-on.
Well, you've knocked it on.
So he's just got to rule, is it in the field of play or in goal?
Well, it'll be a knock-on against Jason Moody, and that means another set of 6 in defence coming up for them.
Good little kick there from Brad Fittler. Put pressure on the back for Moody. It was there for Shannon Hegarty. But it came back into the belly of Moody. They held him up over the line. Now, the last time they had a scrum win in this position, they stretched out far to the right. Fittler got one-on-one with his man. Now Fittler comes to the short side, where he scored a try against the Broncos a few weeks ago, if you'll remember.
At that time, we could argue it wasn't a knock-on. I think it hit him in the head. And then he regathered. Hegarty's with the ball 9 metres away. I think you'll find it bounced up and hit Moody in the face. The ball's on the inside. Here is a chance with Fitzgibbon. He's just centimetres from the line.
Great tackle, Wagon.
Wing at dummy half. Phillips there. Left they come with Green. Running now with Morley. He's only 8 metres from the line. The quick play the ball is in order, and that's what follows. With Green again, some sharp service, some snappy service. Little kick from Phillips and regather. That is his form from 2000. Diamond Phillips, his third try of the season comes here today. 18-14, Roosters in front for the first time in the match.
Well, we saw similar vision by Nigel Vungana on Friday night. This set it up, the third set of 6 in a row forced against Parramatta defensively because of a call against Moody for knocking on. As it goes wide from Greens, we freeze it there. You can see it is one line for Parramatta. There is nobody at home, and it's just great vision from this man as he takes on the line, puts it onto the left boot, in between defenders. Jason Moody, who was playing at fullback, was up in the line. He had no chance of getting back. Brilliant individualism there.
Yeah, there's no defence to this. And at finals time, these are the types of plays that win matches. A little bit of a drop kick there. Watch the pickup, whoosh, and plants it down. That's great confidence builder for Luke Phillips on the eve of the big games. And suddenly the Roosters find themselves, you would imagine, 6 points in front here. And only 16.5 minutes left on the clock.
Phillips had a couple of injuries in the first half of the year, and he said when he came back, it was like he was starting over again. And he's back in top form at the right end of the season. Fitzgibbon. And this suddenly for a 6-point lead. They trailed by 8 at the break. And Fitzgibbon from 11 metres out is successful. Roosters in front in Sunday football. 16 remain. It is 20-14. Forlorn looking there. Jason Taylor watching on. To change the way it is. He may not get back out there, Jason Taylor.
Stay behind.
Big finish coming up. Momentum with the Roosters. Up by 6. And there is 15.5 minutes remaining. Fittler on the juggle. They've given us some moments on the restarts in the second half, the Roosters. One stat that has come through this year. Parramatta, there's not one match they've been kept scoreless in a second half. 3 changes for each team remaining. And it's a record Parramatta would like to maintain.
And of course, in the corresponding game last year, the Roosters put the cleaners through the eventual premiers, Brisbane Broncos. I think they beat them around 26-0 here at the Sydney Football Stadium in the last game in the premiership proper. A big win over the premiership favourites here today if they can hold on to this 6-point lead. It'll be interesting to see if Brian Smith, in fact, gets Jason Taylor back out there. Only 14 minutes left on the clock. How vital is this game to the Eels? Will he get his playmaker back into the game?
On the other side of the ledger, I guess you could say, well, the Broncos went on to win the competition. And the previous year, Melbourne lost their last round in the premiership, their last game in the premiership going into the finals, and went on to win the title. So that has been the trend for the last 2 years anyway. There's Violecki, good metres, made 20. 45 metres away from the Roosters line. Well, I'm sure that's a stat that Brian Smith will look at if they do lose here today. Wagon, there was a suggestion of a forward pass to Wagon. More than a suggestion. They're going to score, Parramatta, but I've got huge doubts on this one. Burt scores it, his second for the match. But I reckon there was one forward pass, certainly, and then even a question mark on the last one. It's 2018, a kick to come from right in front.
Well, some good dummy half running prior to this. That's the pass that's in doubt from Irvine to Daniel Wagon. I don't have too many dramas with that one. We can see as they go to the blind, we freeze it there. They've done well to isolate this man. Roosters defence couldn't react in time, and Wagon will go to him, commit him as play continues, and then pass. I think that's fine. I've got no problem with that at all. Luke Burt coming to the fullback, and Phillips really had no chance. A lot of space for Burt to work in. He's good on his feet. He's got great speed. But the quick play the balls enabled them to work out a 2-on-1 down the blind side, and Burt benefited.
Here again, their willingness to attack Minicello down the short side. That's the third try that they've gone down that way. At time, Minicello not supported by his inside defenders. The play the ball was too quick. And the premiership favourites bounce back. They say, yes, the game is important. We do want to win.
Burt from right in front. 11 metres out. And here we go again. It is 20 all. Sit tight, all you dads, on Father's Day. 12 minutes remaining and a grandstand finish coming up. Bouncing the ball as he comes back like an AFL ruck rover. Back to halfway. Four tries to 3 to Parramatta, but 20 all the score. It is in the balance, the big kick-off, and Michael Vella, who's on report in this second half for a high tackle on Luke Phillips.
Leading now, Luke.
Let's check that interchange situation. Roosters with 3. Parramatta just 1 up their sleeve going into the final 12.
Well, Andrew, whatever happens in this game, I'm leaving the Sydney Football Stadium absolutely shattered. We've just seen a shot earlier of Eric Groth sitting with his son Eric Jr. in the Eastern Suburbs dugout. He's got a Roosters cap on. A Parramatta legend sitting there with the Roosters cap on is nothing sacred. Guru, what are you doing?
We convert them, Sterlo. When they come down to the Eastern Suburbs, they never go back.
Phillips has got it. He might just have it on loan. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt for now. There's Flannery, gets over the 30-metre line, got through the Solomona tackle. That try really was against the run of play. Roosters have had the best of it the last 10-15 minutes.
Got a knock on against Hegarty.
Doesn't take much to change things round though, does it?
No, it doesn't. They've had some good fortune today, the Roosters, but they've capitalised on it. A lost possession there from Hegarty. Now the pendulum swings are back a little bit with the premiership favourites. It's going to be a very interesting last 11 minutes of play here.
Lock in.
Jason Taylor is out there when we start talking field goals, maybe closer to full time if it is still 20 all. Violecki, mind you, Freddie Fitler's kicked a few in his time from long range. There's PJ Marsh. Passes there for Solomona. Customary offload back for Violecki. Two Kiwi internationals combining. 20 metres from the Roosters line. He is hurt, is he, Violecki? He copped one round the chops as the ball is with Kalis. Offload back for Taylor. And keeping it alive, it's not out of the textbook, but now Nathan Hindmarsh will get some metres. He's only 5 metres from the line. Butner comes back for Taylor. Let's rehearse everything for the finals. Touch that field goal attempt. It's play on for the Roosters, and Phillips has to dive and burrow. He gets to the field of play. And that is a result rather than a line dropout. I'm
very surprised that Jason Taylor would have gone for the field goal there. Still almost 10 minutes to go in this game. He could have just worked away another 1 or 2, rolled in the in-goal area, kept the pressure on. I'm very surprised at that decision that late. Good work from the Roosters to charge it down.
Well, I thought they had the Roosters on the back foot there. They looked more like scoring a try. And here's another error from the Roosters coming out of trouble.
It's the first time today, Gus, I reckon the first time in 2 weeks that Fletcher's pushed one of those offloads and put a bit of pressure there on Craig Wing.
Yeah, but that's what happens in the big games. 9 minutes to go, the scores are level. You think you've got to do something a little bit more. It should have been picked up, though. I mean, that's what halves and hookers look for, that little ball out the back, even if it hits the ground.
Parramatta 25 metres away from the line on the back of the scrum win. Nathan Hindmarsh.
And as you just saw, Parramatta will finish the game with the troops they have out there at the moment. All the interchanges have been exhausted. 15
hit-ups, 24 tackles for Nathan Hindmarsh. Nathan Kalis, there's that little bit of footwork from the big front rower as he gets to Craig Wing and Fletcher. 15 metres from the line, Butner at 20 all. Solomona, he does a step, tries to wrong foot Lomu, somehow got the pass away for Nathan Hindmarsh. He keeps it alive for Butner. Only a metre away, he was spun around. PJ Marsh at dummy half, off to the left with Taylor. Short ball there for Vella. Vella keeps going, back for Taylor. Only 4 metres from the line as Singh made the tackle with Phillips. It is scramble here, and PJ Marsh, he has got to the line, has he? Marsh is right on the goal line. Last tackle, Solomona. Back for Jason Taylor, another field goal attempt. The first was rehearsal, and here's the show. They're in front, Parramatta. 21-20, 73rd minute.
Well, take your hat off to some superb Roosters defence there. Lomu a try-saver with Phillips. Then Singh a try-saver with Phillips, forcing Jason Taylor on the last from similar position to the one that was just charged down to put his side one in front. Still oodles of time for both teams to go on and win this.
That was a talented kick from Jason Taylor. He got the last one charged down as the Roosters exacerbate the error by kicking out on the full from the kickoff. But with that field goal attempt, he got the previous one charged down. This one, he purposely kicked it higher. As we see the kickoff now from Fittler, who was trying to get a restart. Just nailed it, went way out over the touchline. And here come the Eels again.
So Parramatta with Solomona. They're 30 metres from the line. Nathan Kalis. Fletcher fell off, but comes again. Centre field. And they look to go left. Valecki got into dummy half for Chad Robinson. A good run. Gets them. PJ Marsh for Solomona. 10 metres from the line. Again, he props. He's got so many options, Solomona. Never goes to ground with the ball. Away for Valecki. Valecki is crawling on his hands and knees to within 3 of the line. Dummy half as Nathan Hindmarsh is stretched out. That is a try to Parramatta. As strong as they come, Nathan Hindmarsh. You cannot cage him in. It's 25-20.
Yeah, it's a fitting finale to the game of Nathan Hindmarsh this afternoon. He's been incredibly strong. And even here, look at the defence that is confronting him. Underneath Phillips, through 3, slams the ball down. Again, the Roosters, they've cut their own throat in the last 5 minutes. 2 drop balls and then the kick out on the full have given Parramatta opportunities to score the winning points. And Nathan Hindmarsh, it is fitting that he may get the match winner.
Well, he's been the best player on the field for mine. And again, it's a result of the great ability of all these Parramatta forwards to hold the ball in one hand. You'll see the Solomonas, the Kalises, the Hindmarsh and the Vellas have always got the ball available. Andrew Ryan, and even in traffic there, he's got the presence of mind to say, I'm not that far away if I can just get my arm in the outstretched position. And with the big right paw, slams it down over the line. Jason Taylor, the opportunity to stretch it to 7.
Yeah, an opportunity to win the game here. They won't get beaten if this goes over.
From 15 from touch, eastern side of the Sydney Football Stadium. Steadies over the ball, Taylor off the boot, Jason Taylor. Field goal now, conversion. And Parramatta, having fallen behind in this match by 6, now lead by 7 with 5 remaining. Chief, sideline.
This Parramatta team, there's no real key standout players like we see in other clubs. They're just a great team. And just a few statistics to point that out. There's not one single player from Parramatta in the top 10 try-scoring list, offloading list or hit-up list. But as a team, if they score 3 more points, they go down in history as the best for and against team ever in the history of the game. So they're just a great unit.
Well made by the Chief as Robinson offloads, little riskily. There it is, fielded by Vella. Running back at wing. Jason Taylor, this conversion again.
Yeah, and he was practicing, Jason Taylor, don't you worry. Minutes ticking out in a big game. If I can get it to 7, we win. You'll think that that's an opportunity to practice something that may happen down the track.
Solomona offloads for Robinson, then for Taylor. May have been knocked down by Singh there. It's been fielded by Nathan Hindmarsh. Play on, says Harrigan. Nathan Hindmarsh. Look at this player go, young Nathan. They cannot stop him. Parramatta keep it alive. This is Harlem Globetrotter stuff. Now the kick goes through. Start the music up. It's gone over the sideline. What about the skills?
Well, they didn't get a try, but they deserved 2 points for that. That play was so good. You've got to award them something. This big fella has had a tremendous back half of the season. He's been absolutely unstoppable today. Great run, deft passing. I'll flick this one out the back. I'll hold on. You're in position. Yep, there you are. Okay. David, who do you want to pass it to? I'll give it to you. Out the back now to Lyons. He'll grab a kick. Ball goes into touch. Otherwise, it would have been a try to the Parramatta Eels.
Despite the fact they will get beaten in this game, the Roosters, they have restored my confidence or faith that they can be a chance in the final series. Putting this performance back-to-back with their win over the Dragons last week has shown that they are a team worthy of being worried about when it comes to the next month. Up until that stage, I did have my doubts.
Well, I think they'll come away from this and say it was lack of patience that eventually cost them. They got in a winning position. And then 2 errors gave opportunities to Parramatta. And the errors were really unforced. They brought it upon themselves. They've got to be patient right to the wire in these big games.
Paul Green hoists this one high. And across for it. The Roosters are still challenging. They may get a late try here. Crocker keeps it alive, but Parramatta come away with the ball. Luke Burt runs it back. Scored 2 tries today. He's over the 20. Now it's put down. And again a chance opens up for the Roosters. And they will score. Luke Phillips scores. There's still 2 minutes 15 seconds on the clock. Was that grandstand finish? We've still got one.
Well, Brian Smith will be very disappointed that his team is now given opportunities. Firstly, a pass from Robinson earlier in a play, throwing it back to nobody in his own 20 is not what you do in the final 2 minutes of an important game. And then after Luke Burt made this searching run, probably the pass doesn't really need to be thrown as such, although you'd expect Donald to have caught that one. And with 2 to go, you just don't give the other side opportunities. And if there's any doubt about a pass being thrown, you don't.
But it's a lesson for the Roosters. If they'd have hung in 5 minutes ago, that could have been the winning try.
Well, Fitzgibbon's got the kick. There's certainly enough time for a complete set of 6. Plenty of time. Fitzgibbon lands it. Now what will Harrigan do? Will he allow the clock to continue counting down here, or will he blow time off straight away? The Roosters bench watch on. Harrigan is calling them up. The clock still counts down.
I just wonder, in situations like this, Brad Fittler fancies an opportunity for an early chip kick for one of his speed men. Whether or not he'll go to tackle 5 for his kick option, look for a play on tackle 2 or 3, or maybe he's already teed someone up on tackle 2, looking for a little chip kick, catch Parramatta unawares.
Well, here we go, 27-26. Fittler, a fumble in goal. Gee, they've had some hairy moments from the restarts. Cusack comes up with the ball, 10 metres away from his own line. 27-26 and 70 seconds remaining. The Roosters, can they get out of jail? Benetti passes for Green, gets over the 20-metre line, then ducks under a tackle of Kalis.
And the call from Nathan Castle will be no penalty. We do not give him another set of 6 at the other end.
Fittler for Flannery, back inside for Hegarty. Line gets physical in the tackle. Solomona comes across as well. Flannery at dummy half. They're on their own 30, the Roosters. Witters, can he produce that bit of magic? He's up to the 40-metre line. He can't offload. 3 add their weight to the tackle. Benetti at dummy half. It's tackle 5 for the Roosters. Here's the big play for them. Pass doesn't find the mark. It's out in the centre's Crocker. They keep it alive back with Phillips. Then away for Green. It's play on. Little grubber kick. Parramatta come up with the ball with Vella. And that will be game over. Parramatta now can play out time. The minor premiers. Graham Murray knows it, but he'll get another nail-biter next Saturday when they take on the Knights. The Roosters will play Newcastle next weekend. Parramatta will play the Warriors in the first weekend of the playoffs.
You've got to congratulate both sides. Nothing to play for today other than just to size each other up before the big games, and both teams gave it their all.
And now Solomona at dummy half. He doesn't want to just concede a tackle, make a voluntary tackle and give the Roosters a penalty. That's not the case. It is full time. I know we've had matches at stages this season, high scores where you've thought soft tries, but today was just all quality for a full-time scoreline of 5 tries to 4 and 27-26 to the Parramatta Eels in front of a crowd of just under 19,000. The regular premiership is over, and now it is down to 8 for the finals, and Parramatta and the Roosters, they are both there. So full time in Sunday football. Parramatta 27, the Roosters 26.